It's been a long week, right? Are you ready to wind down? Why not? It's time for the Wine Time Fridays podcast with Shelley and Phil. Neither are sommeliers, but both have a deep passion for life, each other, and of course, delicious wine. And now, here to talk about this week over a glass of wine is Shelley and Phil. It's wine time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Wine Time Fridays with Shelley and Phil and a mid-July guest. Today we have with us Gilles Nicault.
Hi guys.
This is great already. From Long Shadow. And Gilles has been been in the wine business making Washington wine for over 30 years now. And so we've got a number of things we're going to talk about regarding that. But here's the thing. About 10 years ago, Shelley gave me a case, well, not a case, but a pack of Long Shadows wines. And it comes with all of these great information of all their past vintages. And I've been keeping notes on what we do drink. And Gilles, this is such a pleasure to have you on because we are such fans of your program and your model.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's like a pleasure to be here, actually.
So you will notice that Gilles is not from the United States originally. He is from France. Actually, at the time of today, right? He is in France right now, just not here because we recorded this earlier, as Shelley likes to point out. So while I'm opening this, Gilles, can you give us kind of an overview of, and we'll talk a little bit about Alan Shoup as well as Rick Smalls and all the people that came into play here.
Yeah.
But give me an overview on the model because this model at Long Shadows is really quite unique.
Yeah, it's very, very unique for sure. And so it's hard to talk about the model without talking about Alan Shoup and everything, because Alan Shoup created it. Now, like Long Shadows are the umbrella for 7 different partnerships that we're going to test today.
Right.
So we created that in 2003. And basically, he had the idea many years before that. He was really close friend with Robert Mondavi. So when Robert Mondavi and the Rothschild created together Opus One, then it was kind of that partnership of old world, new world coming together.
Right.
And so he was the president CEO of Chateau Saint Michel at the time. And then at that point, he thought, you know what? Washington State, the Columbia Valley, has so much diversity in the growing region that actually be able to invite winemakers from around the world to make wine with us at Long Shadows, would totally make sense.
Right.
So, but back then, before Long Shadows, at Chateau Saint Michel is the one who created called Solari with Antinori, and also then with Heroica, Dr. Lucen. That was at Chateau Saint Michel. Then he retired from Chateau Saint Michel and created Long Shadows Vintners as an umbrella for 7 of his partnerships.
And Dr. Lucen is involved in this poet's league.
No, and so this one no. So
okay.
this Dr. Lucen is involved in Heroica, and so Dr. Lucen talked with Alan Shoup and said, you really need to talk to Armin Dill. For Armin Dill is from Schlossgott-Dill in the Nahe Valley in Germany as well, and so that's who we started making Riesling, the Poet's Leap, with in 2003.
So this you have on your website. A Poet's Leap dry and a Poet's Leap
regular off dry.
So that's what we're having today is an off dry. There's going to be a little bit of residual sugar on this.
Yeah. So usually there is a 10 grams, so about 1% sugar, but with that bright acidity to it.
So we're drinking this basically at room temperature. By the way, that is okay because you're going to get the full profile. But I need to make a proper Wine Time Fridays toast. To health, wealth, and abundance, gratitude, romance,
and peace on earth.
Yes. Thank you, Gilles, very much.
Oh,
Looking forward to this lineup.
My pleasure. See, even room temperature just brings a lot of aromatics and texture.
Sure does.
And,
Yeah.
I might drink this at room temperature from now on.
Well, so we talk about this 20/20 rule in our house. And in our house, it probably doesn't have to be because in our cellar, it's probably 56, 58 year round.
Exactly. Oh, wow.
But typically when people are storing their red wines, aren't storing it like that unless they have a actual cellar. Say put them in the refrigerator for 20 minutes before you open it. Just bring that temperature down. And for a white wine, it's been in your fridge. Take it out for 20 minutes. Let that warm up a little bit. Get those profiles. Do you endorse that?
I totally endorse that. But like sometimes like white wine is like a summer wine as well. Not always, But so if I'm outside in the sun, then I chill it even a little bit more than I usually do. So I start really pretty cold, and then it warms up with the sun.
Of course, of course.
So even my red wine, I start pretty chilled red wine when I'm outside.
Yeah. This is absolutely delicious. Why don't you? I guess you already told us a little bit of the story behind this.
So basically, when Long Shadows started 2003. Then for the Riesling, we had Armin deal, and so that was just incredible to be able to work with our different partners, like was the way we did. Because they were not like consultants, they were really like partners with us, and so we went to the vineyard. We looked at the different viticulture practices that we could do to improve the quality, and then some winemaking techniques, and kind of looking at the overall style of the wines.
Right.
So it started in the vineyard, not just in the juices.
Always starts in the vineyard, for sure.
And this is, by the way, we're going to be talking about some old world legends in this model, but all of the fruit comes from Washington.
Exactly. So all the Columbia Valley, Eastern Washington.
Yeah. Not San Juan.
No. And San Juan is great. But, but really, there's the Cascade Mountains that really separates the west and the east, and all the moisture from the ocean on the west side of the Washington state. And so east side, there's that rain shadow and creates that perfect location to grow grapes for winemaking.
I have to ask, because I think that if there's anybody that we've had on, Gilles, you will know. Have you had a Zigaribe or a Madeleine Angevine?
Well, not very often. It's been years, but yeah.
They're making some pretty good ones from Western Washington that go really good with oysters. Great summer wines.
Okay.
They're fantastic. They really are. And our podcast, we really want people on the front end of their journey to learn without the pretentiousness of what the wine industry can be like. And just strip all of that out, and let's try wines, please.
I agree. I mean, wine is a beverage on the table to go with a meal. That's why in France, that's kind of how it is. It's just a beverage on the table.
Usually around lunch.
Yeah.
Should we move on to our surprise wine?
Surprise wine.
Okay.
Can you put that in there? No.
I'm working on
Not the dump fill.
Not the dump fill. Yes. We don't often use a dump bucket. I had to wipe off the cobwebs. That was the 2024 Poet's Leap Riesling from Long Shadows.
And I have to add something about the Poet's Leap. With the 2022 Poet's Leap, it was part of a huge testing of 1,500 wines from 30 different countries. It was like about 60 sommeliers that tested all these 1,500 wine blind, and Poet's Leap came first for like white wine, and so it was like the white wine of the world, basically.
Yeah, that's so much fun. That was the 2024. Do I have that price on here?
$20
$20 at the winery. Yep. By the way, at the end of this episode, I'm going to go through, or maybe we'll do it each wine, what wines are available at Pilgrim's Market. Sarah is keeping most of these on the shelf. She does have the Poet's Leap. This is a surprise wine.
She does have this one?
No, this was a special order.
Oh, okay.
But if you ask her, not even real nice, just add like a bottle of the Dance Chardonnay, she'll do that. Are you okay with no rinse pours?
Yeah, no rinse pour.
This is really casual. We'll do a rinse pour on that first red.
Yeah.
But here is the 2022, the Dance Chardonnay.
Of course, I like that.
I had to do this because Shelley is a dancer. She's been ballet dancer. Now she's with the North Idaho Sparklers, dancing in parades.
Wow.
She danced in the 4th of July parade last week.
Was impressive.
Yes.
It's fun.
It is so much fun, and I'm a wrangler, so there you go. Keep the skullduggery off the ladies. This I'm looking forward to immensely, and this, like I said, was a surprise. Hashtag cheersing.
Cheersing.
I have to do that 6 more times.
That doesn't suck, huh?
Did you say it doesn't suck? It doesn't suck at all.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Yum.
Side of my tongue right now. There was this little slight delay, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're still here.
Yeah.
So this is fantastic. This is on oak a little bit.
Yeah. So basically, I don't want to make a big, heavy Chardonnay. I really want to retain a lot of acidity as much as possible. So kind of reminiscent. I don't want to compare or anything, but like a white Burgundy or so. And so I don't do a lot of malolactic actually, but I do some malolactic in brand new French oak barrel, and little bit, about 20%. That's going to be my layer of complexity right there. But then I have cooler sites in the Yakima Valley that's going to come and be fermented in concrete with no malolactic at all, and that's going to be my freshness and the acidity and the brightness of the wine.
How many months on oak is this?
So this one is actually 18 months on
18,
oak.
okay.
Yeah, so,
and new French.
Though some of it new, some of it neutral, some of it concrete.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you talk to us about that process? Because I don't think people realize what that means when you're talking about the 3 different vessels this is fermenting in.
So again, it's like the concrete is going to bring the freshness, and I don't do any malolactic in there. So the concrete just like enhances somehow the minerality of that Chardonnay, and then the new oak is going to bring texture, is going to bring beautiful, like especially I do some malolactic in these. It's going to be
a little depth.
Yeah, depth and richness, texture, and then the neutral French oak barrels is going to be in between the two a little bit. And so just trying to bring layers of complexity, but since I'm missing sometimes a little bit of complexity because I don't do a lot of malolactic, that's why I'm keeping it for 17, 18 months on lees. And the lees contact just going to bring even more texture.
And so do you do these in these 3 different vessels and then
the same time period,
and then take them all and put them
basically so I keep it totally separate for 17 months, and from 17 to 18 months then I start combining them together.
Okay, got it. And what is that vessel that you combine them together in?
A big stainless steel tank.
Okay, got it. Stainless steel is not going to impart anything. It's just basically letting the 3 get together and know each other a little bit.
Exactly.
Okay, beautiful.
And then at the same time, I'm able then to chill it quite a bit to make it more like cold stable.
Oh, we've mentioned this in the past couple months. You know, our everyday Chardonnays now, we're a Chardonnay house, okay? We love Chardonnay. When we're cooking, it's usually Chardonnay. And then we switch over depending on what we're having for dinner. All of a sudden, these everyday Chardonnays are like, this isn't tasting as good as I remember, because we are actually having some amazing Chards, and it's hard to go back, Gilles.
Well, I know we're being spoiled here, but everybody likes different type of Chardonnay. You know, some people like a buttery a lot more. Some people just like that, like brightness, steeliness. You know, so I'm really, really actually enjoying where I'm going with my Chardonnay. That's my style of Chardonnay, so I'm happy with what I make. But
for sure. Do you? So you kind of have a obligation to reflect this lineup that we're going to be tasting through, to represent the model and the style, right? But do you get to put any of your influence in terms of...
Even from the beginning, you know, for me, when Alan Shoup hired me, I was like 30, 31 years old. And it was like such a unique position for me to be able to learn from the best winemakers from around the world. So I was not just going to go my way, but it was incredible for me to learn from them and see kind of the vision they could bring to Washington State. It was just incredible. But at the same time, I'm the one who's been, every day, every year at the winery on site making the wine. So sometimes you have to make decisions, but you have to be there to make a decision. So I was always, Alan Shoup always told me that, you have carte blanche. And so when I had to make it happen, I would just make it happen, and they would all trust me. And over the years, now it's been, 22 years, they trusted me to make my own judgment, the best judgment.
I love
that. And
is
there a partner on this one?
No, on this one, it was just Alan Shoup and myself thinking that we really wanted to make a really good Chardonnay. So there's no partner on this one. It was like Kathleen Shoup loves Chardonnay. So we started making a Chardonnay, and it was 2010 experimenting. And when it really started being more serious, it was like 2017, 2018, and now we're making about 1,000 cases of every year.
Love that. We're gonna jump into a break real quick, and when we come back, the rest are reds.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect. Welcome back to Wine Time Fridays with Shelley and Phil. That's not getting dumped. Sorry. This one's not getting dumped. Nothing against the Poet's Leap, okay? But I love this Chardonnay.
Showing really well.
Thank you for making this wine. We are with Gilles Nicault, Long Shadows, long time with Long Shadows, a fantastic model, much like the Opus 1 model, only that's just one every years.
I had the first Opus 1.
Yeah. No, she didn't really. She poured it down
until I poured it down the gutter.
Yeah, because it was kept in their garage in Southern California.
But it was the first one. I think I paid $25.
Oh, really? That's amazing.
Yeah. I think like 79, 80, something like
was it? Okay.
Yeah. I think it was 80. I think that was their first vintage.
Yeah.
We have a 17 downstairs and won't probably be open for a while.
Yeah, so not that long ago, I tried the 1994, it was incredible.
It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
I love the ideal of that model, and basically what you guys have going on Long Shadows is that model on steroids.
Yeah.
With working with different winemakers. This is the 2021 Saggi, and this is
a blend of Sangiovese, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Syrah. So our partner on this one, when we started, was Giovanni Forlanari and his dad, Ambrosio. And it's just been incredible to work with them as well, actually. I love them.
So do you know the... okay, we'll just do this. Yeah. Do you know the percentages of... You said Sangiovese?
Yeah. So we usually keep Sangiovese at now about 62% Sangiovese. This vintage has a little bit more. We pushed it to 64%. Then we have some Cabernet Sauvignon, usually about 30%, and a splash of Syrah for the darkness, the spiciness.
I don't even like throwing away my rinse pours.
No, yeah.
Okay, so this is $70 at the winery. And I will tell you that we have had the 2015 and the 2020 of this Saggi. Right now, downstairs, we have the 2020. So this is the 2021.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. When Shelley gave me that kit of the 6 reds,
that's right,
original 6, okay? It's understood that A, she gets to make the decision when we open it.
Yeah.
My president, my ownership, but she gets to make the... And B, when we open it, it has to be replaced in a reasonable amount of time.
Okay. That's a good way to do it.
So we always rotate through. Yeah. We have this all full, but this is the only one other than the Feather that we've had. Oh, I guess the Pirouette that we've had 2 different vintages that I've had to replace. So this I'm looking forward to. I don't have information on this and who you collaborated with originally.
Yeah, so as I was saying, it's Giovanni Folonari, his dad Ambrosio as well from Tuscany. So that's more like a super Tuscan style wine.
Right.
And so what we really want to do is showcase Sangiovese, that character of Sangiovese. At the beginning, Giovanni, when he came to kind of create Saggi with me, we were talking, and I love Sangiovese, but Giovanni didn't believe we could make Sangiovese in Washington State well, but it was, 22 years ago. It was the beginning. It's really hard to grow. It's hard to make. And so it's true that we were working with a block of Sangiovese that was planted in pure fractured basalt, and Cabernet Sauvignon loves this, but Sangiovese does not love to be in rocks like this. And so it loves it a bit deeper soil with a lot of gravel to it, but not just pure rocks.
Okay, I was going to say, because Sangio mostly is known for the Chianti region,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
And isn't that fairly rocky?
Yeah, it's so rocky, but it's not like just rocks.
Okay,
yeah.
Got it.
And so, but then over the years, I was able to get sourcing from different vineyards like Candy Mountain, Boucher Vineyard, and the Blue Mountain Vineyard as well in Walla Walla, and that just brings that beautiful Sangiovese character to the Saggi blend, and so a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon to bring up some like structure, some like backbone to the wine, and Syrah for like more darkness, spiciness, some complexity to it.
It's funny because I think Sangio in Washington has really come around really nicely.
And in Southern Idaho.
Yeah. So we're opening all these wines and we're popping and pouring, okay? And this is a 21 and it's tasting young.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely tasting young, okay? But you build these to probably, you can open them, let them open up a bit, but these, you can lay these down, right?
Yeah. Unless you keep it in your garage in California.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, and don't also have poinsettias on your front porch here in North Idaho at Christmas. A couple learning curves there.
So, but this is a wine for sure that's going to last at least 10 years in your cellar, and just getting better and deeper, darker, and potentially quite a bit more than 10 years.
What makes a super Tuscan? Because there's a few varietals that get put in there that make it that.
That's kind of...
There are laws in Europe.
And that's it in Italy. And so I traveled to Italy, and I was testing with Giovanni Folonari, and so through his different super Tuscan wines, and he was talking about, Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot and Syrah. I said, Giovanni, I didn't realize that the super Tuscan wines were French varietals. And he said, no, Gilles, they're international varietals. and so then I said, but we're growing Sangiovese in Washington State. So that's actually international too. He said, no, Sangiovese is Italian varietal. so because it's true that Italian is so beautiful for the Tuscan region, but so, and that was kind of the discussion at the beginning whether we were going to do like more Sangiovese in the blend or more Bordeaux varietals or Syrah or not. So it was kind of at the beginning, the learning curve, a thing where we could take Saggi to be the best example in the Columbia Valley for a super Tuscan style of wine.
This is really good, and it's already softening up. Mm-hmm. Given just a minute or two in our glass.
So on your bottles, do you put your partners on there?
And the thing is, and all the partnerships have been have ended now, and so but I definitely, since I started making all these wines with our different partner winemakers, so we still mention their name in the back, but we say that it's influenced by them. It's
Yeah, I've got on my notes the original collaborations because they will never go away.
No, exactly.
That's the spirit, right?
No, that's a story that was so, like you said, so unique, and for me so strong. For young French winemaker to be able to work and make all these wines with. I had like 7 mentors. I had a mentor for Cabernet Sauvignon, I had a mentor for Syrah, and I had a mentor for Riesling. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I'm really looking
Great
forward.
education.
Because you're always learning, right?
Always learning, no matter what, always.
I'm so looking forward to that Syrah because I want the backstory of the what is it? It's not Lagrange. It's
Grange.
Yeah. I always think the ZZ Top song.
Penfold Grange. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, and actually Penfold Grange. So we'll talk about it. But our partner John Duval was there for 28 years.
Yeah. This is coming in hot. 15-2. Okay.
Yes.
We went through all of May with Oregon wineries, and we're really impressed by their low ABV.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not the case with Washington wines right now.
No.
And it just is what it is. Because tell us that decision making, clearly you're not trying to make wines that are super high in alcohol, but if you come off a little bit, it makes the wine flabby or something, yes?
Not flabby, but we have to look at where the vines are grown, and it's not like I have a recipe and I'm saying I'm going to make a wine that's like going to be 15% alcohol,
sure.
So I really look at the terroir and look at the terroir. We are desertic. We have like 8 inches of rain or so, depending where you are, a year. And so we do like drip irrigation, but usually by the time you really get the flavor profile and the texture, that physiological maturity you're looking for, then, it's not going to be like a cool climate type of wine. It's not going to be the Willamette Valley that you were talking about. It's not going to be a Pinot Noir,
Sure.
So we are making Syrah, we are making Cabernet Sauvignon, we are making Merlot, and I think what I love about these wines is actually the alcohol is really well balanced and there's a vibrant character to it. If you go to Paso Robles, they're incredible wines, like by the concentration of it, but you drink this much and you feel it go through the body for sure. Yeah. I think with Washington State, we have a really cool nights and we can really retain a lot of freshness. And so I think it's really kind of a wine of terroir. It has a sense of place, and we could try to take it to a lower sugar, so lower alcohol, but to stop the maturation early. But it's after it's every winemaker is different anyway. So if you don't like my wine, you don't like my wine.
So when we had Molly Duker on, we had Luc Marquise. Their wines are running 16%.
Yeah.
Okay, but he said, but you don't taste it, which is true, but it's still 16%, right? It's still getting in there. And so, we're talking a difference of what, 14 to 16%? Is it really that big a difference in terms? You're not drinking this stuff, guys, to get drunk, okay? Mm-hmm. You are drinking this because of the amazing quality in this glass. Mm-hmm. And it goes so well with food, by the way. What would you pair with this?
So Saggi is awesome food pairing, actually. It's so well balanced with acidity and red fruit brightness. It goes like a roasted duck easily, or even roasted chicken, but roasted duck goes so well with it. Yeah,
it seems like it. And of course, you would probably go with a red sauce pasta.
Why not?
Should we go on to the next one?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're going to have to dump your own wine this time, Shelley. This is on record now. Oh,
with the left hand. You
left-handed.
Trust me?
Not really. We are now opening the. I have to look here because it's not in order. This is the Pedestal, the 2020 Pedestal from Long Shadows, and that one we actually have the 2014.
Oh wow.
In our cellar. We have yet to open that first one. It's, by the way, I can't remember if we did this while we were recording. Our cellar is like 56 or 58 degrees year round. Yeah. That thing's gonna go a long time.
Yes.
So this will be the first time of tasting the Pedestal for me anyway. Oh yeah. And the original collaboration was with, is it Michel Roland?
That's right.
I did that all by myself, Shelley. Why don't you talk a little bit about that partnership while I show this lovely Pedestal?
Yeah, so Michel Roland, at least in the industry, is probably the world most famous winemakers in the world. And I mean, he's been making wine in Bordeaux since the early 70s. And after that, he's been making wine in 20 different countries, hundreds of chateaux, wineries or whatnot. And he's still like in Napa Valley with Harlan Estate, Screaming Eagle, is like all these incredible wineries. And so again, we like the balance on the wine, the brightness and whatnot, but we definitely want a good, ripe, physiologically ripe Merlot. So we always put about 15%, 10 to 15% Cabernet Sauvignon from the Rhine Mountain, and a little bit of Petit Verdot to heighten the wine. But
so you're in Washington State at 75% varietal,
right. Yeah,
okay,
right.
and California I think you're 80%.
78,
something weird. So 75% of this wine has to be Merlot for you to call it Merlot. And so you got the 15 Cab and 2% Petit Verdot.
So it kind of depends on the year. We're not on a recipe here.
Sure.
Just again making the best we can for every year. So kind of the idea is trying to be at least at 80 to 82% Merlot.
So North Star has this wonderful program where you can blend your own wines.
Oh yeah.
The blending experience. And I finally had Shelley put her cork in our cork catcher. We're going to do a video on that cork catcher at some point. But we've made our own blends. And so when you say, I don't have a recipe for this, I'm tasting through, we now have an appreciation of what that is.
Yeah.
Because it took us, we were there for an hour or two going through that process. And we both had different blends. And it was just amazing. And you do this on a daily basis with multiple wines. And your palate must get blown out from time to time.
Well, yeah, but that's why I don't do it in 1 hour. I do it in 18 months, 20 months, whatever. So
Sure. Yeah. Well, hashtag choosing. Here we go. Shelley.
It's really young.
Shelley's signature sound after tasting wine.
I love Merlot.
This has got a fantastic nose. Again, this is the 2020.
Yeah.
I've got some tannins on the back of my tongue that I'm guessing will soften up a little bit, but they're not sharp by any stretch. And again, you could lay this down.
Oh, totally. This wine, yeah. I mean, all our wines at Long Shadows can settle 10 years easy.
Yeah.
In a good condition. Yeah. It's like just, the wine is good now. And like you say, maybe, a little bit tight or whatnot, but you leave it in a decanter for 1 hour.
Yeah.
It's already going to be so open. So here we just pop the cork and it's already tasting good. So yeah, in 5 years, 7 years, 10 years from now, it's going to be just so much more like refined and everything.
It's one of the most fun things about opening a bottle and pouring, a little bit, and then letting it open up and tasting that the way that wine evolves over an hour and a half, something like that. It's one of the most fun things.
Oh, I love that.
Drinking wine, So this is fantastic. Gosh, I haven't gotten on any of my questions because we've been talking about all these great wines. Rick Smalls also has a place in the story.
Absolutely,
for you, right? Our worst Wine Time Fridays moment was when we sat down with Rick Smalls. And
not because he wasn't wonderful.
Oh, he was fantastic. And the app that we used to record crashed.
Oh, no.
About a half hour in. And I wasn't going to make him go through all that again. We're going to get his daughter on. We will resurrect this. But that was 2.5 hours to get from Walla Walla to Coeur d'Alene. My stomach hurt the whole time. I was like just ill because of that. But Rick Smalls is such a huge part of the history of Washington wine in general, but Walla Walla specifically, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So how did Rick come into play with you, as well as the whole idea of Alan approaching you at such a young age to take on such a huge project?
Yeah. So maybe I should back up all the way to me being in France. So when I was in France, I did a I went to school for viticulture and winemaking. I did a 4-year degree. And so at the end of the degree, I wanted to explore the rest of the world. I was thinking Australia, California or so. And out of the blue, my school had an offer. Like they were somewhat in touch with an organism in Seattle that's called Experience International. And anyway, they say, Gilles, if you want, we can have a 1-year internship for you in Yakima. And so I took it. And so it was 1 year in 1994, but I love the Pacific Northwest so much. And the wines were already pretty good. The food was pretty good. I think now it's like incredible. The gastronomy of the Pacific Northwest now is just incredible. And it's kind of grew together. The food and the wine just evolved together. And almost like the way it was for Tuscany or Burgundy, but hundreds of years ago, it's what's happening right now in the Pacific Northwest. And I love being part of it. So I came in 1994 and I never left. So in 1996, Rick Small hired me. And then in 2003, I went to Rick and I say, I've been looking at something else. And so, he said, why, Gilles? And I say, it's like with Alan Shoup, it's the Long Shadows Vintner, so unique. It's going to bring all of these different winemakers to Washington State. And Rick is just got so excited, because, he's so passionate. And then actually, you were talking about Rick's daughter, Jordan. I hired Jordan to work at Long Shadows for 3 years.
Yeah. So this is the best part of the wine industry of I don't even want to say up and coming wine regions because it's already there. But at the very beginning, and we say this all the time, thank you, Robert Mondavi, for instilling the model of we're all in this together.
Exactly.
Okay. And so where you do, we're talking, Rick Small's daughter is coming over from Woodward Canyon, right? To work with you on his new startup idea.
Exactly.
I mean, this is the best because she'll learn. She can't learn everything from one.
Because having experience in different wineries is always preferred. Yeah.
Oh man.
So Rick was very excited, and then how did he play a part?
I think really he's a mentor for me, and what really I've learned so much is like his passion for winemaking or for anything he does is like always all in. And so from the vineyard, he planted his vineyard in the mid 70s, 77, I believe, and then started his winery in 82 and just how he was doing it and just so hands-on and just always loved this. And I think it's really made me much closer to the vineyards. Although I did a 4-year degree for viticulture and winemaking, I was already really close to the vineyards myself. But seeing Rick and his vineyard and how he was down to earth and so close to his vines, but just it was so important for me to see that actually.
That's the best part.
Yeah,
just the farming aspect of it, right?
Everything.
Yeah, that's so much fun. Should we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I can dump it if you want.
Thank you.
So much like the dance, this pirouette also sings to Shelley. This is I'm just going to do this right now, the 2020 pirouette from Long Shadows. Talk to us a little bit about, I will say this, the pirouette that we have downstairs is... we have the 2018. There we go.
18, good vintage for sure.
Yep, and this is $75 at the vineyards at your winery, just much like the last one, $75.
Exactly.
Okay, there we go. Okay, we've done all that we need to do there, and beautiful. So pirouette. Let's talk a little bit about that collaboration that was originally with Philippe Melka. I'm getting there. I started better than I was.
So and actually, Alan was really close friend also with Agustin Hannes from Chile. And so Agustin Hannes also is very involved in the wine industry in Napa Valley. Like he has many wineries, but the one that we were looking at was Quintessa. Yeah, so Quintessa in Napa Valley, and so it's like one wine, all Bordeaux varietals. So it's like a heritage type of wine, and so that's what Pirouette is. Mm-hmm. But Augustin Hennes says, "Oh, I'm not a winemaker per se, so I'm gonna give half of my partnership to Philippe Melka, and Gilles can work closely with Philippe in establishing the different winemaking techniques or whatnot." So, like this wine usually is a pretty heavy Cabernet Sauvignon, like 65%.
66, yep.
And then, so it's all from the Red Mountain, and we ferment it in 400-liter French oak barrels. So it's awesome for that oak integration and like the backbone of the blend.
66 Cab Sauv, 30% Merlot, 2% Cabernet Franc, 2% Malbec. Seems like am I right, a right bank Bordeaux or is it left bank?
So that would be more like a left bank.
Left bank, yeah. Merlot. I always forget which is which.
Well, so left bank is going to have more Cab and Merlot, and then on the right bank is going to be more Cab Franc and Merlot.
Interesting. Okay, got it. It a Bordeaux blend,
basically.
And Malbec can be in there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, you've got Cab Sauv, Cab Franc, Malbec, Petit Verdot, and
Carmenere.
No,
it could
I know.
It could be.
Not anymore. Petit Syrah, right? And what am I missing?
No, Petit Verdot.
Petit Verdot, but Malbec, Cab Sauv, Merlot. There we go. There's the 5. But the Carmenere, I wish they would bring it back in. Yeah. I think they're too gun shy.
Yeah. A little Carmenere goes a long way for sure. But.
Yeah.
I tell you this, we don't like talking about the F word on this podcast, and I'm not.
The F word.
Yeah, phylloxera. Ooh, I just
That's
said
a pH word.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, there you go. This is my 4th glass of wine today.
So, and on this wine as well, we also like to work on that backbone. You can see, there's backbone, but all the richness, the texture, the mid palate, there's good maturation, the ripeness of the fruit, dark fruit.
This is fantastic. The legs on this are amazing. Mm-hmm. Not that really means anything.
Not really.
Yeah, but it's, it is indicative.
But it's fun to look at.
Yeah, it's fun to talk about, and people are like, "Oh, the legs must mean it's really good." Well, not necessarily one way or another, but it does mean something.
Well, it shows the viscosity of the wine and the concentration, but viscosity can be created by alcohol. So if it's high alcohol, or it can be created by sugar. So if it's high sugar, but if there's no sugar, and so it's basically the viscosity of the wine.
14.8 on the alcohol on this. So we're under 15%, which we absolutely love. This is so good. We have had the 14 of this, and we
replaced it with another 14.
No, we replaced it with 18. Yes. 18. I said 18 for this. Okay. Pirouette 2018 is in our cellar. Yeah. This would be a good time for one more break.
We could just sit here all day and smell it.
Yeah, actually, it smells amazing. The aromatic on this one is incredible.
And it's interesting because the wines that have a nose like this are wines that take me longer to drink because I'm constantly, for sure. Because I'm constantly smelling. I just want to keep smelling. And it's like, I guess I'll have a taste now, but it's that nose that's so fantastic. Okay, we'll be right back.
We should ask who comes up with the names.
We will ask that.
Oh, we will.
Out of the break, we're going to have you ask that.
I just did. We're out of the break.
There we are. Shelley is taking us out of the break with a question. I love that. This is great. This is your podcast too,
I know. But hardly.
So
anyway, the names.
So the name were the the name come from. So basically, it's all Alan Shoup. So Alan Shoup, is a visionary, just incredible, and he established even all the different label and the different names, and so he created everything. Seriously, he had some help. He had professional help to design the label and whatnot, but so he kind of had always like a list of names. When he thought of a name he thought was be perfect for this given wine, then he would write it down and check to see if the trademark was open or whatnot.
Right. Right. Oh, the stupid trademarks. Yeah. Well, they're not stupid. They're there for a reason, but yeah, for sure.
But like Bookwalter, everything is books and reading and literature.
Yeah.
Foreshadow. Conflict. That's very good. So do you have conversations with other wineries and winemakers in Walla Walla?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
So we're all busy, so sometimes it's like goes way too long, but I try to stay very open and visit them and talk with them, and so for sure, I think that's important.
It's kind of like paying it forward a little bit because they brought you in.
Or paying it back.
Or paying it back. But I mean, now you are the older.
When I came to Washington State, it was 75 wineries. And now there's like 1,100 wineries or so.
Amazing.
So it's not like they brought me in. I mean, I kind of been part, not from the beginning, but
sure.
Before the big wave, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just amazing, though, when you think about it. In 30 years, 75, it's such a small number. Now we're at 1,100 with used to be 2 AVAs. Now we're at how many?
Like 22 or so.
22. Yeah. And it's fascinating to watch. And it's a lot of fun to partake in this way.
Oh, totally.
Okay. Well, this is the feather in the cap wine.
Feather.
Okay, Shelley, you're killing me. Now Gilles is like, well, why'd you dump that one and not the other one?
Well, I'm dumping it too.
Now I'll have to drive you home.
No, you're not. You're not getting behind the wheel of my car. So, 2021 feather. I will say that this is $85 at the winery.
That's a pretty name also.
It's fantastic. We have the 2017 in our cellar. The 2019, Gilles, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, 2019. Was it 19?
This is the 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. But the 19, there's some significance to that one.
Is there?
There is. I did my research. It's the very first 100-point wine.
Well, we made like the special bottling that we call vintage select.
That's right.
So that was not the 19 that got 100. It got the 2020 got 98 points. But in 2019, which is funny because that was one of the first years that I was totally making it on my own.
Oh, okay.
Then we got 100 points in the vintage select.
Congratulations. Well, so to your point, that was called the Feather Vintage Select. So what is the difference between the Vintage Select and what we're pouring right now?
So Vintage Select is not every year. We just make it when it's like a perfect vintage to where the growing season created a wine with like depth, with a lot of distinctively different than what we usually do.
Okay.
And then we keep like about 125 cases separate and we bottle it like that.
Okay. If you thought that last one's got a good nose, Shelley, this one's fantastic. We have actually had the 14 and we have the 17 downstairs. Original collaboration was with Randy Dunn.
That's right.
Okay.
Randy Dunn doesn't have a French or Italian name.
No,
there's Napa Valley.
Yes, from Napa.
Valley.
Yeah.
He started early on in the 70s in Napa, and so he was with a Camus family, a Wagner family, and then he's one with a Wagner family who started special selection over there. And in the late 70s, he bought his is a land on top of the Hall Mountain in Napa Valley, and dedicated his winemaking to 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. So this is why the feather always been 100% Cabernet Sauvignon.
Oh, okay.
Which is, unlike most of these wines, this is 100%. I see it on the back of the label, 100%. You cab lovers out there, Rich Perry, you will love this. This is all the Cabernet Sauvignon talking.
I wonder if he has had this, Rich.
Mm-hmm. Rich had a birthday about 6 weeks ago.
In reality, it was yesterday.
Unbelievable. You can't do it, can you?
Authentic.
That's why people are so confused when they listen to our podcast. They're like, wait, what date is it? Yeah. This is really good. And again, under 15%. Oh, good job. I need to let this open up a little bit. Now, these tannins are on the front of my tongue.
Yeah, very, very young for sure.
Yeah. So when we talk about where we're getting these profiles and the tastes on our tongue, because on parts of the tongue, right? A couple wines back, it was back on the back sides. This one's on not the tip, but the front part of my tongue. I mean, what's up? How does this happen?
Well, I'm just a winemaker, I'm not a doctor, but really it has to do with first some part of it is the acidity, some part of it is bitterness, like there's not very much bitterness in the wine, but there is always a little bit of bitterness, and depending on the amount of it and how well balanced it is going to hit you a different direction. And then the tannins, if they're a little bit more raw, then and it's going to be more like towards the back there. But it's like if it's nice and well integrated, probably a little bit more towards the front. And so it's kind of depends on the richness, the acidity, everything.
And of course, if you're drinking this while you're eating food and pairing it with food,
it's going to be different again.
Everything's off the table at that point.
Yeah.
We didn't really ask you on the last one, but how about this one? Well, I guess I could
We
probably say a nice big old ribeye steak.
That's would be perfect with it for sure.
Yeah. So these are all your kids.
Yeah.
And I really am just curious. Do you, we're just three people here talking.
Yeah.
Do you have one that you just, you guys don't have to listen.
If I'm big part of why I'm here and not in France, is because I love the Pacific Northwest, but at the same time, I let my creativity go, and so in France, I would be making Syrah somewhere or Cabernet Sauvignon somewhere, or it would be very specific, And so here, because we're so diverse in Washington State on what we can grow, I'm able to make like from Riesling to Sangiovese to Cabernet Sauvignon to, all different type of varietals. And to tell you the truth, maybe it depends, what I'm going to be eating with or the time of the day or whatnot. But I love my wines for sure.
Yeah.
I should not say it like this, but I love my wines.
No, that is it's a perfect answer. But it is also really features the differences between Old World winemaking in the Old World and New World winemaking in the New World, with a paying homage to the Old World, but it's still the New World. You are not restricted by laws.
No, not exactly. Well, no, I mean, there's always regulations, but we can be a lot more open to what we do for sure.
Yep, and with that, creating these wines in the spirit of the Old World.
Yeah, but then when Alan Shoup asked me to make a wine with him, so when he hired me in 2003, and so I was going to be working really closely with our partners, and Alan said, "Okay, I have a wine named Chester Kidder, which we're going to be testing now."
Now.
Then I'm, although I'm French from all the world or whatnot, I wanted to showcase what the Columbia Valley could do. So I'm making a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon and Syrah. A touch of Petit Verdot to lift the wine, but it's kind of a New World blend, and that I keep for 30 months in oak. So a little bit kind of
So this brings up a question, because there used to be a Chester Kidder winery. Don't we remember visiting Chester Kidder in Walla Walla at one of our trips?
I don't remember.
In Walla Walla to be me.
So maybe that's so.
It was you.
Yeah, perhaps.
Who's the Kidder?
So Chester Kidder is family names for Alan Shoup. So his mother maiden name and his grandmother's name.
Okay.
Which is a great nod to Alan, who will never ever be lost in this whole process, no matter how many years you're doing this.
Absolutely.
All right. That was a great segue getting to this Chester Kidder. Gilles, you're a natural at this.
It was a natural segue.
It's a long reach.
For what?
What do you want from me, you guys?
I'll
All
just
right.
walk home.
No, you're not. You're not walking home. This is the 2020 Chester Kidder, and all it says is red wine from Columbia Valley. And we do not know. Yes, we don't know. We know what's in it, but we don't have the percentages.
No. But it's going to be a little bit, about 60% Cabernet Sauvignon, about 30% Syrah, and some Petit Verdot.
Syrah has such a great place in Washington wine, and you are finding ways of using that a lot. Mm-hmm. Are there any
it's so dark
grapes that are coming from this block vineyard and used in multiple wines?
Yeah, in some instances, and so like Petit Verdot, I have two different sites for Petit Verdot. One is Dionysus Petit Verdot, which yields amazing Petit Verdot, and usually that goes more toward shares. It's being shared between Pedestal and Pirouette. And then I have some Stone Tree Petit Verdot as well that usually I use for the Chester Kidder.
Okay.
Because we work different with many different vineyards, so each wine is distinctively different. I don't want each wine to somehow be the same structure or be very similar. I want them to be different.
They have to be separated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's one of the issues. Well, not issues, but questions we had for those wineries out of Oregon, because Pinot Noir is really probably the varietal that they're making.
Except now some Gamay.
Well, some Gamay, which is fantastic, and there are Chardonnays starting to come up, but the whole Pinot Noir and Pinot Gris. But there's some wineries that only do Pinot Noir. How do you really separate those? It's got to be tough.
Well, yeah, and what they do quite a bit is they separate it again by blocks. Then they can really reflect of the terroir, sense of place.
For sure.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're going to taste this, and we should get to the wine words of the week. The business zone. That's backwards there, but it won't be. The business zone wine words of the week in a moment as we taste this. I am so sorry. I had to swallow that right away. Right at the beginning, I got milk chocolate and dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't happen with me very often.
No.
I'm not that good. But right away, I got chocolate.
Yeah. And very refined tannins too. And refined balance, because I keep the wine for 30 months in oak. So I just bought on my 2022 actually.
Wow. Okay, and this is the 20.
Yeah.
But the 2022 will not be released for a little while.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you wait until that vintage is kind of semi-sold off before you release?
So we are more like on a rotation.
Okay,
we have a very good wine club, and so they know what to expect at which time of the year.
Got it. Wine clubs are the best.
Yeah.
Look in the show notes. You will see a link. Oh, wait. Is your wine club still accepting members?
Of course.
Okay. So look in the show notes. There's a link to their wine club, because wine clubs are kind of the lifeblood of any winery, I think.
The easier lifeblood.
Well, it's like you've got fans, and they're there. Whatever your release is, they're there. And they're also, we tout this a lot. If you have a winery that you really like, get on there, be a club member. You're going to buy their wines anyway. Yeah. So why not get the benefits?
What about all of the good things?
Yeah, get the other things. It's like being on an email list should have meaning, right? You're getting something that the regular public doesn't. So,
and we really do a lot of special events for our club member, and definitely we make them feel part of our family, and where they're going to have a much better knowledge and integration to the one that we make, a little bit like we're doing like today, right now.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time one-on-one with our club members as well.
You know, I've got to say,
that's awesome.
You know, Gilles, we're in Coeur d'Alene right now at the business zone, the new business zone, by the way, that's moved away from Hayden Avenue. But this is amazing because we're step one of 2 steps today. The other is a wine dinner. Mm-hmm. And so you are out, not only are you making these wines, but you're out there talking to people.
Well, quite a bit, but at the same time, I love it also. My job is fascinating. It goes from going in the vineyard, seeing the growing season, the grape evolving, maturing and whatnot, then calling for when it's going to be picked, and then creating the wine by doing the extraction, maceration that we need to do, bottling in, and that after I get to go out on the road and presenting the wine I made. So,
how much fun is that? You have assistants.
Of course, I have a great team.
Yeah, and do you have anybody that I'm not going to try to talk you out of a job, but mentoring, and
of course,
is that a part of your
it's really important for me. And so right now, I'm working really closely with Matt Banks. We've been working together for 10 years at Long Shadows, and if it was not for Matt, I will not be here right now.
Okay.
So because if I need to trust somebody there on site at the winery, if there is nobody that I can trust, and I know we work well together and is going to relay what I want, what's happening in the winery, then I'm going to have to be there.
So, because you guys are working side by side.
Exactly.
And he knows. And at some point, he's not going to be there. But he will be doing something fantastic elsewhere because of your tutelage.
And I'm planning on him being there with me for many more years.
So what have you got over him on family issues that you're like blackmail to keep him there?
No, we just work well together. And I know that there's many other assistant winemakers that I trained, and they wanted to be winemakers somewhere, but Matt knows that we are now really working closely each other, and that is as much an integrated part of the winemaking as I am, and I think it's really comfortable there. So I hope it doesn't go anywhere.
Yes.
I do want to say,
Matt,
stay, Matt. Good boy. No, that was a joke, Matt. I do want to mention that. So we have tasted through 7 of the original Long Shadow collaborations. Mm-hmm. Well, I also added in the dance.
Yeah.
But there are other ones. There is Julia's Dazzle, which we love. Shelley, Julia Parman started the Blazing Divas, and it's a fantastic rosé. Grenache, correct?
No,
not correct. Saggio?
No.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, so it's actually Pinot Gris.
Oh, and it's so pink. That's right. Pinot Gris has got the darker skin. Right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, okay.
If you do a search Pinot Gris grapes on your phone, you're gonna see some of the pictures are.
How can this be a white wine?
Yeah. And so I do actually. I make 2 wines out of it. So I make the 9 hats. The 9 hats level. Yeah. So I make the 9 hats Pinot Gris to where it's going to be all the free run going to 9 hats. So what's great is I'm not going to have to do very much fining at all because it's going to be like white. And because there's no skin contact, free run, 9 hats Pinot Gris. Then as I start pressing harder and harder, the juice coming out has a lot more of that color extraction, the pigmentation coming out, leaching out of the skin, and at the same time with a little bit more tannins, and that brings that texture. But it's a rosé; it has amazing acidity, and I think that's why I can really create that rosé that's so bright and vibrant and lively, and yet with some texture and pigmentation to it, because it's a Pinot Gris.
But what's the difference? Because that sounds like an orange wine to me.
Well, no, because the orange wine will be a long maceration on skin and whatnot. It's just
a kiss of skin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So I keep it very bright. I try to keep it as bright as possible.
It's fantastic.
And who is Julia?
Yeah, who is Julia?
Julia is Alan Shoup's granddaughter.
Of course. I just love this. And then Symbol Sauvignon Blanc is another one. We have that downstairs as well.
Oh, yeah. I love that Sauvignon Blanc. We started in 2018, and now I'm able to do some contract. I contract some grapes from Bacchus Vineyard, a block that was planted in 1972. So probably, I don't know that for sure, but probably the oldest Sauvignon Blanc planting in Washington State. And then we have an 85 planting at Gamache, a little bit cooler, so it brings a lot of that lemongrass character. And
I love that. Yeah, I love that. So some of their other labels, just so you know, go to your favorite wine retailer, Pilgrim's Market. But I do know that Cynthia's carrying much of these based off me saying, Cynthia, can you get these wines? Because I need to replace them. So she'll bring in 6 to 12 bottles, and they're sitting on the shelves at Fred Meyer.
That's Fred Meyer?
Well, Cynthia, Fred Meyer.
Cynthia.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Sarah keeps most of these. In fact, if I were to tell you right now, Sarah's going to have the Poet's Leap at Pilgrim's Market. She's going to have the Pedestal. She also has this Chester Kidder that we have in our glass. Well, some of us do right now. And the Pirouette, as well as the Feather. That does not mean that you can't get the Saggi or this the Sequel, which we're about to open. We are going to talk about real quick the business zone wine word of the week, which is mesoclimate. Brett Miller with Highland Estates talked about this in episode 265 not too long ago. And I know about microclimate, but tell me a little bit about mesoclimate, because your wines and your vineyards are carefully selected to take advantage of the unique mesoclimates. As I open the sequel.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I don't know what mesoclimate is.
Well, interesting, because I did not either. I've got down a smaller,
it's probably
localized.
Like a micro,
well, it's in between, right? So and the only reason I know, because I believe on your website it says some of the mesoclimate stuff, but a smaller localized climate within a larger region, a mesoclimate plays a significant role in shaping the flavor and character of wines, which.
So it's probably still a microclimate. So it's a different. So basically, is the terroir. So again, I was talking about how I really aim to make each one of our wine significantly different, and so only one vineyard sometimes will not quite do that. So I get some Syrah and some Cabernet Sauvignon actually from the Yakima Valley, which is cooler, and I get a Cabernet Sauvignon Syrah from the Red Mountain that's going to bring a lot more of that backbone and the structure, and then actually some of the Syrah from a native fruit planting at Bacchus. And that's always like so dark and rich. So I'm able to bring different characteristic to the different blends by going to the different meso.
Well, I think it's interesting because we're talking about terroir as a whole, and then you go microclimate could be the actual
rows.
Yeah, and the mesoclimate is maybe a little further out of that. But I mean,
a little bit bigger.
But the thing is then. When I keep all my blocks separate, so at that point we're talking about an acre or less. So it's micro. So
right, and it's the micro. Excuse us. The microclimates in any farming is amazing when it comes right down to it, because we're talking about just this small little area with vast differences. We've talked about this. the whole Okanagan thing going on up there, where you can have
Valley,
Chardonnay, and 100 yards down is Cabernet Sauvignon, and because of those microclimates, it's just amazing how different this is. We're talking the 2020 sequel. I made reference to this earlier with Penfolds Grange, which I've never tasted.
No, it's beautiful.
Thanks for rubbing that in.
We'll do it.
100% Syrah? No.
So yes, it is.
Okay, beautiful.
So when we started with John Duval, we would always add about 4-6% Cabernet Sauvignon, like he would do at Penfolds Grange. Grange always have a little a layer of Cabernet Sauvignon right there. But what I've done quite a bit lately is about 30% whole cluster fermentation that brings a little bit more complexity of like black olive tapenade, but beautiful texture that allows me to keep it 100% Syrah.
Oh, nice.
The difference in terroir. Where is Penfolds Grange out? Is that
in the Barossa Valley in Australia?
Oh, Barossa, got it. Okay. Yeah, great Shirazes. Shelley's loving them all. Not Marlborough. McLarenville.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
That's really close.
But and Barossa Valley, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the difference in terroir between Barossa Valley and here we're in North Idaho, but where you're growing these grapes in Washington State. Yeah. What is that difference?
So again, each climate, each terroir is going to be different, but I think what's similar is the rainfall. It's dry over there, it's dry here in eastern Washington. Here we're going to be a lot more on the fractured basalt and cold winter and cooler nights as well. Yeah. So we're going to be able to, I think, retain a little bit more freshness, vibrant character to our wine.
It seems like cool nights are just such a great thing in vineyards. Period, right?
Yeah, it lets the vine just recover at night and
relax a little bit.
Yeah, and keep more acid to the juice.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't understand how much of a desert Washington is.
Yeah, it really is.
They're like, Washington, it rains there every day, right?
Rain.
You're talking about Seattle.
Especially we call it the evergreen state. So people that don't know Washington State, you're right. Yeah.
Until you drive through and you're like, sagebrush.
Yeah. Yeah, with no irrigation, like places, it's only sagebrush and rattlesnake,
Exactly.
Yeah, one is gonna hurt you, the other will not.
Not sagebrush. It's prickly. Sort of.
Well, it's not going to kill you. Let's have a whirl with this. This is
a twirl.
Sorry, a twirl.
Should
have done that with the dance and the pirouette.
Also great. They're all great.
They're all very good.
I like Syrah too.
So can we just be honest? Shelley likes everything except for Sutter Home White Zinfandel, $2 Chuck.
That's not true.
Yes, it is, and Yellowtail.
I don't really like Petit Verdot on its own.
On its own, that's true. It's a great blender, but on its own is a bit rough.
And by the way, I think we have a couple of 100% Petit Verdots at home.
We'll mix them.
Well, no, I mean, I'm willing to give it a go.
Of course.
I know that there's going to be a food pairing that will help that. But you're right. You do not like if I bring that up, you're like, no. But it's all about kind of trying these different wines and have an open mind, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be Cabernet Sauvignon. It doesn't have to be Chardonnay. There is a plethora of really great wines out there, and this is one. And it's great that this is 100% Syrah. Not that Syrah is any slouch. Mm-hmm. What was it like working with
John?
Yes, thank you.
So John Duval is amazing. I mean, he's always so down to earth and so respectful and of everything but the wine and the grapes, and so he's just an amazing winemaker and human being, really. And so I always enjoyed working with him so much. So really looking again, like we've been talking about, from the vineyard all the way to the fermentation, maceration, and really trying to keep, again, the acidity as much as possible in our Syrah. So when I started working with him in 2003, John, Alan, and we were saying, so is it going to be Shiraz or is it going to be Syrah? And really,
it's got to be Syrah.
Yeah,
even because it's Shiraz down in Australia, even though it's that.
Yeah, some people call it Shiraz around here, but then, just like you were saying earlier, it's like the terroir is quite different. So John Duval came, and so we started testing the first vintage and whatnot, and say, no, that's no Shiraz, that's a beautiful Syrah. With the Shiraz, in Australia, it uses quite a bit of American oak sometimes.
Oh, interesting.
And this one is 100% French oak to really elevate that like a darkness, a blue fruit, and whatnot.
That is interesting. How much time do you spend with the partners? Over a year in the making.
But again, right now, not at all anymore.
No. Sure, right.
But at the beginning, quite a bit to establish a style and whatnot, and going through the vineyards, and over the years, less and less as we were, we are all busy anyway. So, coming from the Barossa Valley is not a short trip,
No, that's maybe the longest of all the partners, really,
potentially, yep. And so we definitely talked a lot and collaborated very closely, and so it kind of really depended on the years and everything.
You didn't really have Zoom back there, so you can't go.
No, but we did a lot of email and
the things that you can do without actually taking the fruit off and tasting the all of that.
Yeah.
What were the differences that you noticed from John? Because he really made quite a splash with those Penfield Grange,
totally.
Right? What were those differences in his style to what you had learned before?
Yeah. So I thought it was going to be a lot more different when Alan Shoup said, we need a partner to make Syrah. Then I thought, let's go to the south of France to Côte Rôtie or whatnot. And he said, no, there's enough French people already, because it was me, Michel Roland, Philippe Melka. He said, let's go to the Barossa Valley. And I was not sure what to think about it. And actually, John came, and then we started using French oak, and he was really talking about the balance of the wine, so where we wanted the physiological maturity of the grapes, but we were not going to let it hang just to get high sugar or anything. And so we really wanted to preserve as much as possible the acidity and a little bit lower sugar or whatnot. And so actually that's kind of what I was doing already.
Do you have any other partnersps in mind?
Ooh,
no. Alan Shoup passed away now, and so we have this amazing 7 partnership to wine, about how it started, and so we are just focusing on this, and plus few different little projects we talked about, and just moving forward with it.
How many times in a 1-year period in a vintage would your partners come into town? Because you're not going to them. This is Washington fruit.
So I went to them as well. But so usually John will come. Actually, the good thing about John Duval, Australia, his harvest was more like in April or March. So he was able to come and spend a day or two in September during harvest. So that was really good. And then usually I would see Michel Roland. Most of the time I would take my little samples and go test in Napa Valley. So because he was always in Napa Valley, so I would fly there with my little wine samples, and then we'll test and talk about the different flavor profile, texture, and everything. And so Randy Dunn was a pilot, so he would fly to whatever, like 3 times a year or something.
He needs to get his miles in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool. So it went both ways.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, interesting. Well, Gilles, we have come to the end of our wines, which we've only tasted through 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's pushing Elsom Cellars, isn't it, with a 9? Jody, sorry, but not quite there. I wanted to just say some of the wines that we enjoyed this week was the Remy Chardonnay, Ryan Patrick Redhead Red, the Rimbal Masson Village, thank you. Elsom Cellars Logan, and we did have the Julia's Dazzle.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it dazzled us. It's very good. We do not have our sponsor, so I'll do that down the road. And I guess that's about it.
That's a wrap.
Yeah. So, I mean, all this will be taken out. Gilles, I'm not going to speak for Shelley, but I think I can in this regard. Thank you so much for taking the time to sitting down with us. This has been over 2 years in the making.
I know,
one of the emails I had with Matt, and it would be every 3, 4, 5 months. And when there's a little spot in time where I'm like, I should probably follow up, he says, well, I certainly respect your perseverance. He says, why don't you talk directly with Gilles? Perfect. This has been a long time coming. Thank you.
Of course.
I guess can I ask 2 more questions?
No.
I can ask one more.
Okay, one more.
You grew up in the wine industry.
Yes.
What was your aha wine?
Well, again, it's like wine is not like Bud Light, it's so they all taste so different. It's
Thank God.
Yeah. So, I think way back then, like for my 18th birthday, my dad took me out and we had like a beautiful Syrah from the Rhone Valley.
Yeah.
And so it was one of the Chapoutier special bottling that they do there, and it was just incredible. But I've tasted so many incredible wines over the years. So what I love is that, again, diversity of characters in between all the wines.
I appreciate that you came over with the old world background, but a new world open-mindedness, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's just fantastic. We're talking about wines that are world-class wines here, and not one of them have been over $85. Okay? Now, 85 might seem like a lot for some, but we're talking, there are some wines out there, $300, $400, $500, and I think Screaming Eagle came up today.
Yeah.
That's well over that. These wines will go head to head with any wine out there. If you have a special occasion or it's Wednesday night, these wines are perfect. Yeah. And they're not going to break the bank. And that's the beauty of this. And so go out and find, if you are a Cabernet Sauvignon lover, go that direction. If you're a Syrah lover, go to the sequel.
And you can go to the website and order, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, longshadows.com.
Yep. And
follow them on Instagram. They have beautiful pictures.
Okay. And I will say, every single one of the wines we tasted are in the show notes with a hyperlink right to these wines.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. And so thank you very much, Gilles.
Yes, it was a pleasure.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much.
With a little bit of knowledge, wine becomes a lot less overwhelming. And we, once again, have a fire hose of knowledge. We will see you next week. Have no idea what that's going to be, but it will be good. You can count on it. You're on Wine Time Fridays. Thank you for spending part of your day to wind down with Shelley and Phil. Remember, you can listen to any episode of the Wine Time Fridays podcast by visiting winetimefridays.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And join us on our Wine Time Fridays Facebook page, Instagram, or on Twitter, which is @VintageTweets, for daily conversation. Until next week, here's our toast to you. To health, wealth, abundance, gratitude, peace on earth, and of course, romance.